What we'll do now is we'll go to join Paul Louis in Madagascar. And Paul Louis is also working on access to diabetes care in Madagascar. And Paul Louis, you just arrived today, I believe. Yesterday we were still chatting and you were about to board the plane.
Hello, Bastien. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I just arrived in Madagascar during the night. I will speak about the situation there, and I'm very lucky to be born in France, because in France we have access to everything, and it's covered by the government. Here in Madagascar, it's very different. If you're not able to get insulin with some local NGOs or to pay it, the reality is that you die. So the work I do in Madagascar is trying to support them to build a more sustainable model on access to diabetes care. So for this, I work with a local association which is called Amadia, and they have a few clinics. And when I started this project, the idea was not to create something on my own, but it was to support local organization and like to put some oil in the motor to make things more efficient. So when we started in 2017, there was about 150 kids with diabetes. And now we have about 250 kids with diabetes. So at this time, Amadia was receiving some donation from people, like a donation of insulin, donation of test strips. The problem with donation is that it's not sustainable. So there was at this time there was insulin rationing. There was like people with diabetes, they were testing their glycemia maybe one time every 2 weeks. So there was no insulin adjustment. And in 2018, I started to speak with Graham, and we agreed that we would do something for Madagascar. So in 2019, we organized everything. I was in Madagascar. I worked with Amadia to organize the Life for a Child program, and we started this program in 2020. So as I said before we started, there was about 150 children supported with donation, but with insulin rationing. And now in 2021, we have about 250 children which are included in the Life for a Child program. And so they receive all the insulin they need. They receive also at least 2 test strips a day. And now we do also A1C, which is totally new for Madagascar.
And Louis, if I can just jump in, there's one thing you forgot to say. You know, you're not a professional. You don't do this as your job. You're getting in touch with Madagascar. I remember you told me this a couple of years ago. You were a professional athlete and a successful engineer. You went to Madagascar for swim training, and then you saw the situation on the ground. You met people with diabetes, and you dropped out of your job. And since then, you've been doing this almost full time, right?
Yeah, so I was, no, it was not for professional training. I was there. It was for the wedding of one of my best friends. So I was in Madagascar, and yeah, I decided to meet some local doctors and to see what was the situation. And then, yeah, I decided to support them. So at this time I was quitting my job. I decided to dedicate part of my time to work on access to diabetes care in Madagascar.
And you're telling us now that the situation is super complex because it is much more than just the access topic. You're basically having to build the whole system from scratch, right?
Yeah. So for this, as I said, I work with a team of local doctors called Amadia, because the idea is to support local organization, and they have to do the work on the ground. So I support them by helping them coordinating programs. I help them with my experience in project management. I find some partners to build this sustainable model. So Yeah, the situation is very difficult because it's much more than just insulin access. It's about test strip access. It's about also diagnosis. It's about lack of medical staff. There is also lack of medical staff. You have also lack of training. There is also a difficulty with rheumatoria. So rheumatoria is a big problem because it's very difficult to access. I mean, with medical team, so it's people in these areas just die undiagnosed, and also if they are diagnosed, it can be very challenging sometimes to send some insulin or test strip. So this is something that I mean we are starting to work on because now we have Life for a Child. As I said, in Madagascar now we are supporting about 250 children. We have a capacity to support at the moment 400 children that can be increased when we will reach already these 400 children. But despite we have all this insulin now and test strip, we still haven't reached these 400 children because of all the challenges I spoke about before.
And that's why you're back as of tonight. And how long are you staying?
So I will stay there for the next 2 months, and I will be back also a few months next year. And something very important is Life for a Child. The reason why I bring Life for a Child in Madagascar is because I think Life for a Child is a wonderful program to build a sustainable model. So the Life for a Child model by itself is not, I mean, it's not sustainable because it's still donation, but the Life for a Child program unable to train the doctors because doctors before they were not used to use test strip. I mean, they were using one test strip every 2 weeks. So with this, you cannot do insulin adjustment. So now that we have at least 2 test strip a day, I mean, the doctors they have to learn how to use test strips. They have to learn insulin adjustment. So I mean, this Life for a Child program it enables to train doctors. It enables to test new practice, and it's a big challenge to bring a program like Life for a Child in Madagascar, but it's also a big opportunity to build this this access to diabetes care.